Hey guys, crew of Blindwave, I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
Guys, it is Sunday, which means
Sunday
for the Monster Truck Jam.
We're watching Monster Trucks?
Nope, we're watching Game of Thrones because it's the weekend. That's what we do because we have nothing better to do.
We do.
Today is episode 1 of season 2, The North.
Season
Remember.
2?
Season 2
We've
episode?
made it through the first season, yay!
We're here already?
If you guys didn't see the finale of season 1, which was awesome, that we did that yesterday, you guys can go to our channel and check it out. Blindwave, you can...
Blindwave.net.
Blindwave.net has all of the HQ. It's the HQ of Blindwave. It has everything that you possibly need. We also have a Patreon. We also have a bunch of different stuff that you can support us in our quest of going through Game of Thrones with our boy Calvin. If you guys have never seen any of our reactions before, Calvin has never seen Game of Thrones. Aaron, you have seen it.
Yes.
I have also seen it and read the book, so we got a little bit of a dynamic of
I've
different
only seen it
viewpoints.
once, though, so I don't remember a lot of it.
Yes.
So it's kind of neat. I'm kind of refreshing now.
Yeah, he's kind of refreshing. We're all getting ready for the new season, so by the time that happens, Calvin will be all caught up. So, that being said, Calvin, last season of Game of Thrones, what all happened? Please condense 10 hours of footage into a couple sentences.
To a minute.
My favorite character died. My second favorite character betrayed him. My third favorite character is now the Hand of the King, where my first favorite character was.
And you choose some bad people to be your favorites.
Bad?
They're
It's
entertaining
unfortunate
characters.
people.
I guess so.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
But what was the big thing we had, which was the huge game changer, is...
Jon Snow's on the wall. What?
What did you say?
Jon
Jon
Snow's at
Snow's
the
I
wall.
thought you said George Bush on the wall.
He was.
That also was.
That is true.
That's what I should have said. George Bush on the wall. The game changer.
Yep. All right, so we all know where we're at, and now we're going to see where we're going. Calvin, you may hit the button. I mean,
I have to actually hit it. I know. I clicked it last time. And
we got to watch the show,
Protesting.
Calvin. We're not done. Dragons, there are dragons, there are dragons, and dragons. Now Peter Dinklage is now first build. You see that?
yeah, I noticed.
First off horses and tents. There's the history of West everywhere.
It looked like there was a bear raping a wolf
Ooh,
in that,
foreshadowing.
along with a stag.
Oh, he's fine. Not that far, right?
It was well struck, Your Grace.
I already said it was well struck.
She's being a cardboard cutout.
An ale for a drunkard.
I thought he said a glass.
He also said drink his fill.
Can't.
More beautiful than ever. And you, you're going to be bigger than the Hound, but much better looking. This one doesn't like me. Can't imagine why.
We heard you were dead.
I am loyal to my beloved Joffrey.
Of course you are.
That
Yeah,
he's got his,
awesome.
his tribesmen with
he's
him.
got his tribesman.
We have enough wheat for a 5-year winter. If it lasts any longer,
We're dead.
we have fewer peasants.
The city's drowning in refugees.
One way to look at it, I guess.
Fleeing the war. I do, Your Grace.
Is that like Groundhog Day?
Not a lord at my command.
Yes.
I owe my title.
Done nothing.
Quite right. You did nothing when your son called for Ned Stark's head. Now the entire North has risen up against us.
I tried to stop it.
Did you? You failed. That bit of theatre will haunt our family for a generation.
Robb Stark is a child.
Who's won every battle he's fought? Might just get his Uncle Jamie back.
How?
You love your children. It's your one redeeming quality. That and your cheekbones. Starks love their children as well. And we have 2 of them.
One.
One
Arya, little animal, she disappeared.
disappeared. What? In a puff of smoke?
He's so good.
We had 3 Starks to trade. You chopped one's head off and let another escape. Father would be furious.
Good job.
Must be odd for you. To be with a disappointing child.
Oh, dang.
He's having so much
Harsh
fun.
words coming from the imp.
So much fun. That's a cool
That
shot.
would be too.
Yes. It's a predator. Did you hear that?
Right?
Whoa. It's a predator spaceship.
Stop it.
What she's doing?
Oh, there's
She's
the
hunching. She's crouching. She's squatting.
She looks so much better.
She does.
Dan, what? Last season?
Yeah.
Before.
About the comet. Dragons are all dead. Been dead for centuries.
They have been.
They look good. The wings.
Yeah, it looks really like the dynamic lighting and everything on it. It's really good.
Where the other two at?
They're in the cages.
So as to not fly away.
Oh,
Ah. Cut it for meat.
That was the horse that Drogo gave her for her wedding.
Oh, it is? Yeah, gone it.
We go south to the land of the Lazarene. The landman will kill us and take your dragons. We go west to the Dothraki Sea, the first Carousel we meet. Will kill us and take your dragons.
No one will take my dragons.
They're too weak to fight. As are your people. You must be their strength.
As you are mine.
He's a good man.
Koi Koi!
I haven't seen a girl in 6 months.
Keep on not seeing him if I were you. You don't like people messing with his daughters? I don't like people messing with his wife. He marries his daughters, and they give him more daughters. On and on it goes.
That's foul. It's beyond foul.
Every shot. So cool, I don't mind though.
Yeah.
It's been there all day.
I
And
like the
it doesn't
first
leave-
transition it did though, where like it went up and then it came back down.
Yeah.
Stannis Baratheon.
Robert's brother.
Like him pulling that sword out special. Couldn't anyone have just walked over there and just pull that sword out? You know what I
The
mean?
ritual they're doing.
I declare upon the honour of my house that my beloved brother Robert left
Wasn't my beloved brother. I didn't love him. He didn't love me.
a harmless courtesy, Bruce.
A lie. Take it out. But in Lannister, the Kingslayer, wonder what he is.
And her brother Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, by right of birth and blood, I do this day lay claim.
Make it Sir Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer. Whatever else he is, the man's still a knight.
Sir Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, by right.
Let no man claim ignorance as an excuse.
Your Grace, the Lannisters are the
Tabletop is a
If
map
for
of
the time being
Westeros.
You could make peace with your brother.
Badass.
Peace with Renly while he
Cup of wine to honour the one true God.
Did you see what he did?
Mm-hmm. She's been building an immunity to iocane powder.
So he was willing to kill himself to kill her.
Yep.
Didn't work.
It did not work.
Not at all.
We have a new religion, Calvin.
You follow the old gods of the new.
Or the newer.
I guess that's true, yeah.
be held captive, my boy. Perhaps you'll be killed.
They've
by a
grown.
boy.
Jeez, that's a big
Some ravens will think my father's going to negotiate with you. You don't know him very well. He's starting to know me. Victories don't make you a conqueror. It's better than 3 defeats.
Rob doesn't fuck around, man.
Poor kid's still cleaning up that blood.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh, wow.
These are my terms. If the Queen Regent and her son meet them, I'll give them peace. If not, I will litter the south with Lannister dead.
King Joffrey is a Baratheon, Your Grace.
I see.
Why is he a blonde?
What are we fighting for if not for
It's
them?
more complicated than that, you know it is.
Can't focus on just one facet.
We'll all be together again soon, I promise.
What are you asking?
I'm asking if he fucked other women when he grew tired of you. How many bastards does he have running?
Here's your thing. working.
She's scared.
What you just did is punishable by death. You'll never do it again.
You pretend she doesn't speak the common tongue so that people will think she's exotic. She grew up just down the road in Flea Bottom.
She's beautiful.
She's still a slut really, but made of every part.
Do you recognize her?
Mm-hmm.
You know what they're doing?
Where? Get out of all the king's rolls and ignore! How will we know it? He's got a bullseye helmet! He made it himself! Fine.
The daughter of Eddard Stark. And
With
the last
the
bastard.
son
The
of-
last bastard.
The last
Of
bastard
Robert
son
Baratheon.
of Robert. That's
Even though it's a terrible scene, I like that ending.
yeah.
And that is the end. Alright, so that was the
Ah.
premiere, Calvin.
Yeah.
That was a pretty heavy ending. Aaron, do you have anything that you may have caught, or
I think I mentioned something to you in the very beginning when I was like, "Hey,
you're talking about Marcella?
yeah." It's like, how many
and
siblings does Joffrey have?
He has 2 siblings. They do appear in the show, and sometimes they're played by different actors.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when
Okay.
I saw those two, I'm like, they just
Yeah.
looked weird.
This will as we go. This will happen. Certain characters will get different actors as they go, depending on the importance of their part.
I know there's also like years between some stuff
And there
things like
is,
that. You know, like a
sometimes,
lot
yeah.
of time has passed, and I'm like,
But sometimes this is the thing about adapting a novel by George R. R. Martin is that he'll have a character show up in book 1, and that you'll cast him like, okay, this guy's in the background, that's him. And then in book 5, he has like 7 chapters.
yeah,
And you got to have an actor that can carry that.
Yeah.
And the one that you casted previously either isn't available
Or was just a face.
exactly.
Well,
So
when
you'll
I
have
first
a
saw
lot
them,
of
I'm like, is that the same people? Or are they just
Yeah.
a lot younger? Or I was like, how many kids is it? How many siblings are
yeah,
there?
it's the same.
I was confused about that, but
Calvin, how did you feel about our introduction to Craster and his daughters?
Pretty much what all of the Night's Watch said.
Yeah, just revulsion.
isn't
Pretty
he
much
kind of like the
spot on.
one guy you guys were talking about earlier? Who's the other guy you're talking about that like is like married to like
Oh,
I forget his name.
the water bridge guy.
Oh, Walder Frey?
Walter Frey.
Walder Frey does not marry his kids. He just marries very young girls.
Oh, okay.
He's had like 7 or 8 wives, and he just keeps having kids.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought you were saying that he was married to like all this
No,
stuff. Okay.
he's
okay.
not married to his kids. No,
No.
that's
Okay,
that's actually
Robb Stark has not picked a wife of
of
Walter,
Okay.
Robb Stark can
Yeah.
pick any one of
That was
his
like some
daughters.
kind of deal,
Yeah.
right? So they
Yeah.
could
so that they could cross, and he would actually give him men to fight
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Lannisters with.
Now, opposed to that, Craster, who does do this practice, this would not be allowed in the 7 Kingdoms. But we ain't in the 7 Kingdoms anymore.
Yeah, north of the wall is
Or
something different.
these are the free folk, as they call themselves. They don't bow to anybody. And Craster will do whatever the hell he wants. Now, weirdly, everybody all around Craster is gone and fleeing, but he has not.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah, he's like not worried about it. Like everyone else is like, ah,
he
get through the
doesn't, he
army
doesn't
and
seem
stuff.
worried at all. Aaron, you kind of mentioned a little bit about Dany's baby. Like, did she birth a dragon or something like that? Is that
Oh,
what you're saying?
yeah. I was like, well, like whenever the witch last episode of the end of the season,
She said she had leather
she was like,
skin.
it came out scaly with wings and died or whatever. Like, it sounded almost like she just birthed a dragon. Like, you know what I mean?
Not necessarily. It's more of like because of the magics that were used to keep Khal Drogo alive, it corrupted and destroyed the fetus
Okay.
and mutated it.
I mean, it's either a dragon or the New Jersey Devil.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you
Jersey
want to
Devil.
see some very, very, very unfortunate and sad pictures, you can find babies that are born like that,
Okay.
like scaly and
I don't know if
red
I wanna
eyes.
Google,
And
like,
Yeah.
you don't want to see it,
Evil
but
dragon.
it is. There is some reality to something like that, even though this is necessarily a magical event or a dark magic event that happened. We saw the White Raven this episode, which signifies the end of summer. Right? I always thought that was kind of an
Is
interesting.
it always the same one?
I don't believe so. I think it's just a white raven in
It's just-
general.
We saw
They're-
a white raven?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the
At
in the
small,
cage.
at the small council
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
when Calvin was like, "Just is Groundhog Day?"
Yeah.
Okay.
meeting. We did see a outpouring of compassion from Tyrion to
Yeah.
Sansa in terms of like when you think about him growing up an imp and stunted and hated by his father and his sister. His brother loves him, but then all that shit happened. You figure that he would kind of lost what makes us kind of love him. It's always find it interesting that he still has that compassion, and of all the Lannisters, he's the good one.
Right.
It is. Yeah, it is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I like it because
Yeah.
because he's not like one of the proud Lannisters. He's actually had to learn the hard lessons
Mm-hmm.
that they've all overstepped.
Yeah.
And to actually be like a normal person
Yeah.
in that situation rather than a Lannister in
Mhm.
that position.
Yep.
So
Now, we did hear about, we have now 4 separate kings declaring themselves.
yeah, only one of them doesn't want the entire Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, so that would be Robb, Joffrey, Renly, and Stannis, the 2 brothers, right? We were introduced to Stannis this week.
Yeah.
Or this episode.
This episode.
And Davos.
And Davos, his loyal bannerman. Now, Stannis, we've heard that he was a master of ships and he was a great warrior, but now we've found out that he's a huge fanatic, or apparently a huge fanatic for some kind of new religion that we've never heard about before, which is the religion of the Red God. And the Red Woman,
Yeah, the woman in red.
Melisandre, as Aaron so spoiled her name.
I didn't remember it.
Yeah,
honestly.
I know. I don't think it's said.
It's too big a deal, is
Yeah,
it?
no, not
Just
really.
the name itself.
But she said a couple of interesting things. She said that the books say something about an ancient warrior and that he'll pick up a sword called Lightbringer, which would be on fire.
Yeah,
and
he'll draw a flaming sword, and that
Yeah.
will be known to be his Lightbringer.
Yeah, they talk about these prophecies a lot in the book, a lot more than the show, and a lot of theories will come up about who that person is and what they'll do and what's going to happen. I won't say that I believe any of those theories or that any of them lead any credence, but they are interesting to think about as events go on.
I still don't get why couldn't someone else just go over there and just pull that sword out? Why, because he did it, because he was the one that we let walk over there, because he's the quote-unquote king.
That looked
You know?
more of like a artorial ritual to me. Like, they were burning the effigies of the 7. They had it was more of like a ritual to me.
Yeah, I get it.
I felt like.
I feel like
Yeah.
it should have been more sword in the stone,
Yeah.
everyone tries, no one can, but he can, he's
No.
meant for it,
Yeah.
Something
Well,
like that.
it was definitely not something that looked difficult.
Well, I mean, it just symbolizes
I mean,
that
it was staged.
it symbolizes that she thinks that Stannis is this great ancient warrior resurrected. And
now we've heard of Stannis before.
Yes.
Master of Ships, I think you called him.
Yes.
He defeated Greyjoy's fleet, didn't he?
Yeah, he crushed the Ironborn fleet. He also defended Dragonstone, which is the place that he was at during Robert's rebellion as well, which is no small feat.
No.
Now, you did mention the table he has. It's pretty darn cool.
Yeah. I want one of those.
Dragon Stone is a castle in the middle on an island on the sea, made of obsidian, which and it's one of the oldest keeps in Westeros. He was awarded Dragonstone after his
Victory.
He was supposed to sit on the small council, but him and Robert never really got along, so he just kinda never showed
That's why I was
up.
like, beloved brother.
Yeah, no.
I never loved him. Yeah.
He's also a huge grammar Nazi.
Yeah. Which is kind of why me and Eric were laughing more during that.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like he
I
keeps correcting
enjoyed
so much
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, the Kingslayer.
Jamie Lannister, the Kingslayer. Call him sir. He is a knight.
Yeah.
I mean,
That was cool.
The one guy who's like, I follow Stannis, but you know, there's a point of like, you gotta tell the truth and whatnot. But then he's willing to push so far as like, you know, he's like thinking the Red Woman's like a bad influence, so he's trying to like, I'll kill her and kill myself to get at the same time.
If you notice, he had a chain around his neck. He was a Maester.
He was a Maester,
right? Just like Maester Lewin that we have in Winterfell. So he serves Dragonstone and advises anybody that inhabits it, right? He's also, you know, the Maesters are, you know, they're not necessarily a religious thing, but they've trained in the 7 gods,
They're just like very knowledgeable people,
They're very knowledgeable people. They, you know, they have a different kind of metal in their chain for everything they've learned. So the longer and heavier the chain, the more they know.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is. Like the Boy Scouts.
That actor just, I'm not sure if he is, I have to look it up. He reminded me of the ringleader guy from Moulin Rouge.
Okay.
I've seen him in other things.
Like the first time I saw him, I'm like, I think he's that guy from Moulin Rouge.
Yeah. Now, he did try to poison himself and Melisandre. Calvin thinks that she had built him immunity to poison.
Isn't that Princess Bride, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
The witch.
Yeah.
She's a witch.
Up at the north, we were talking about Craster, and he is talking a lot about this Mance Raider, who we just learned in this episode used to be a member of the Night's Watch.
Yeah.
And now he is
deserted and went north.
And he is the
not
king.
South.
He's being called a king beyond the wall, or a king of a frozen lake, or something like that, right?
And the one guy said, isn't that where the wildlings are going, right?
You know, the thing about the wildlings is they're different kinds of tribes that never get along. But if somebody is getting them all together, there's probably a reason that they're suddenly now starting to work together. And I think we might know the reason. We also learned that the wildlings call the members of the Night's Watch crows.
Black crows.
Which I love because it sets up the ever-amusing joke, crows before hoes. We also learned, and I don't know if you guys, Aaron, if you might have caught this, that they said Randall Tarly has declared for Renly.
I heard Tarly.
Tarly, Sam Tarly, that's Sam's father, the one that was going to kill him on a hunting trip, you know?
I heard that, but I was like, I'm not going to say anything about names because I don't know what names Calvin knows and has learned.
No, I recognized that. I couldn't place it.
Yeah, so small world, we know that Renly, who has 100,000 men on his cause.
That's a lot of dudes.
It's a lot of dudes. A lot of people. Renly is a very popular person. Stannis is not, even though Stannis has the rightful claim. That's how popular Renly is, and that's how much people hate Stannis.
I did like that. Rob is like, we will try to join with Renly.
Yeah.
I think it's a good idea because like there's 3 armies fighting, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like if 2 of them join up, they'll probably be fine, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
That's like Rob's thought. So
there's
like,
4 armies total.
Yeah.
And
5 if you count the whatever's going on with the up north.
Yeah, that one. We're not getting into that one yet, but in the 7 kingdoms, there's 4. One is Stannis, one is Robb in the north.
And Renly.
And then, of course, the Lannisters.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So if 2 of those armies join up...
And we have to remember, too, when you're considering these things armies, these are all very small groups of men loyal to a house. A house is loyal to their liege lord. The liege lord is loyal to a warden.
Yeah.
Right? Is generally how it goes.
Or as they're calling everybody king.
Or as they're calling
King
everybody
Renly, King Stannis, King Robb.
Yeah. The Kingsguard, which are usually like the best knights of the land, it just seems weird. Like when Joffrey becomes king and he's evil, now they're evil.
Yeah.
They're like just shoving wine down a guy's throat, you know? You figure that these great knights would not do that, except for the one we don't like that may or may not have killed our friend Syrio Farrell.
I'm still hoping he's in prison, but probably not.
Yeah, well, welcome to Game of Thrones.
What was the name?
Syrio.
The very last thing,
dance master.
The very last thing I have is, and we probably could have talked about this last episode, is that, do you remember in the 2nd episode of the 1st season, Calvin, Eddard and Jon leave each other, and he says, the next time we see each other, we'll talk about your mother.
Yeah.
And you didn't see it because you're not allowed to watch these, but I got slightly emotional when that happened, and I hid it from you because that was the last time they ever saw each other.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that in the reaction. So I just wanted to let you know that you missed my emotional moment. What did you think of the direwolf?
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, his direwolf was named Grey Wind.
And he's like this tall.
Yeah, and he's giant.
When I'm standing up.
Yeah, and they are not fully grown.
Did the wolf that was like first person mode thing? Did that one look as big?
Or
was it just hard to tell because the
reflection? It's hard to tell. I mean, they just film regular wolves and they upscale them. You can tell they do that. They don't have like CG wolves or anything.
What's that meteor going through?
What is the meteor? A lot of people said what they thought the meteor was.
Yeah, there were a few things, right?
Yeah.
One was something about the death of Ned.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said something about dragons.
Yeah. The mark of the dragon's return. And some people thought it was like the return of the red.
And then we had we had all that stuff happen. We also had we kind of discussed the nature of power in this episode. Robb with power on the battlefield. Cersei and Littlefinger, information, and then just plain power in general. What people believe that you can do. Tyrion being given power by his father. Dany having power with the dragons, but having nothing because so the nature
not being able to use it.
So you can say what is most powerful, or what does that meteor mean? It means whatever you think it is. It's whatever people respond to. It's just a fucking meteor.
It's just happened.
That's all it is.
Like it's just a fucking rock that looks like an egg.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Someone said it meant dragons, and we've got some dragons. Someone said it meant it was meant for the blood of Eddard Stark, and he had died.
Yeah.
When it comes to power and magic and gods and all that good stuff, there's never one answer. Thus, you guys have to keep coming back each and every weekend day to learn more of in-depth review, reaction, analysis of Game of Thrones.
Especially that meteor.
Maybe we'll get an answer next time. You'll have to tune in and see. To do that, you got to make sure you guys have subscribed to Blind Wave and like our video. You can also go to blindwave.net, which is an HQ of all of the shows that we do. You won't miss a thing if you check out that website. We have a forum there. We have a support us page. Speaking of support us, we also run a Patreon account now, which helps us out because that we like to do these reactions, especially with Calvin, who has never seen Game of Thrones before. We need to have that reference material so you guys know exactly what he's looking at, and because of that, we don't get paid from YouTube. So if you guys enjoy what we do, please, we recommend going over there and giving what you can, right? And that's pretty much everything, guys. We're going to have a good week of the rest of the shows that we do, and then we'll come back next Saturday for episode 2 of season 2 of Game of Thrones. That's going to be everything. We'll see you next week. I'm Eric.
I'm Calvin.
I'm Aaron.
Calvin!